All right, so where does this put us end of day? So this puts us around 52.42 futures. ES up 109 BPS today, NQ up 143, Dow up 64, Russell down, VX dropping 6.28%, Cash VIX down almost 9%, and VIX 3 month down 5%. So huge amount of short vol coming online today after the CPI print was quite hot. We got a few sell-offs that prevented us from realizing additional upside, but I think bulls are pretty well positioned for uh, the upside test tomorrow, and that should put us around futures like 26 52.66.75 to 52.75, I would say, is my target range. Going into the overnight session on SPX, we have a pretty strong call wall at 70, moderate support at 75, and then another strong call wall at 80. um this is and then we have more call positioning going up to about 5200. There's some resistance at 5195. After 5200, probably 5225 is the test. That's kind of what I was targeting at the beginning of the week for tomorrow anyway. There's no data or no big macro data, so nothing to really pressure the call positioning to sell off or anything like that right now. And then, Thursday morning we have PPI, and we move a little bit deeper into SLD. This is probably the first point at which I could see any kind of substantial sell off, since we didn't get one this afternoon. Even though we did have a brief chance at breaking down, we ultimately found support. So I would say pretty bullish on tomorrow. After we test the high, there's no telling what call positioning could do. We may see that we may see it all sell off, right? The macro environment's obviously getting a little bit more unstable. Broad commodities today opened up a little bit and closed down. Dixie kind of slumping a little bit into the end of the day, back under the 103 mark. It really shouldn't be. I don't see any good reason for it, but probably just some dollar short coming online. It looks like we're dropping mostly against the pound. We're up against the yuan and the yen. Um, Yields on the top end of the curve still up quite a lot today. I don't see those coming back. Inflation is definitely hot and definitely moving higher. Uh, you can see the effect of the vol shorting here in the 1 and 3 month correlation, as they drive towards our prior low. Is a significant shift in vol shorting. Almost a 13% change in core 1 month. Not as much vol shorting 3 months out, but still a bit. Big uptick in leverage on the carry trade today. This is probably what provided most of the money for our upside move. And consequently, we see that uptick in leverage met with a significant amount of vol short positioning, right? And we're seeing volatility shorted back down to a negative forward yield after 2 days, with a slightly positive yield. Now, at the same time, we're also seeing the yields curve contract, right? So we're seeing financial conditions tighten, and that's encouraging the use of this leverage as an instrument. We'll probably see more aggressive moves in USD JPY now, especially starting this week, because the BTFP facility is now closed, right? So for banks and large institutions, the only good sources of liquidity are going to be the carry trade and the Fed discount window. And so we should see them lean into this a lot more. The tightening of those financial conditions over time will increase volatility, but for now the leverage is moving the other way. Looks like bond vol up a little bit. I think that's updated. Skew looks like it's turning around, although that might be yesterday's print. I think we'll find that skew today is quite a lot higher than that once we get it around 6 p.m. or whatever. Um, and yeah, just even more evidence of that vol shorting. We're now at negative 4.1, 41.9 VIX futures to cash VIX correlation. So, leaning harder into the vol short this week after we'd seen some of that pulling back last week. And going into the end of the day, we're pricing in 1 point less than 3 full rate cuts. So, yep, looking for us to go up a little bit tomorrow, and then get that high test around 5,200, and we'll kind of see where that takes us into the back half of the week and into the PPI report. So there's a chance we could open below 5170, but I would say that unless we open below 5150, things are still bullish. So, an open at like 5165, not very bearish. I think we'd probably have to lose 5155 or 5150 to be on track for a bearish day tomorrow. It doesn't look good. And there's plenty of call side interest at 70, 75, 80. Not only that, but even more at 90 and 5200. So really the resistances to the upside tomorrow are pretty minimal, just 85 and 95, and plenty of support to the downside. Yep, that should be about it. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you bright and early tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody. Later.